Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is ZAFRAN AMIR ABIDIN, and today I'll be diving into the engineering mechanics of three main automotive powerhouses. First, I'll explain about spark ignition engine, which will be represented by the Mazda 2 car. Next, I'll be explaining about the compression ignition engine, which will be represented by a Kia Sorento car. And lastly, I'll explain about hybrid electric vehicle system, which will be represented by Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. And by the end of the video, we will know more mechanical details about each of these cars, and we will know why the manufacturers specifically chose these types of engine for each vehicle. And we will be discussing about how the world is seeing, how the global situation right now, where normal cars are trying to transition to EV. Is it good or bad? Is it recommended or not? Okay, for the spark ignition engine, my first one, I'll be using the example that was assigned to me, which is a Mazda 2 1.5 liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine. Okay, so how does the engine work? It's simple. The engine operates on a standard 4-auto cycle: intake, compression, power, exhaust. During intake, a mixture of petrol and air enters the cylinder. The piston compresses this mixture. So where does the spark come in? The spark is in the cylinder as well. The spark is in the cylinder, and the spark is an electrical spark which will use to ignite the fuel and air mixture, which is used during combustion when the engine. Alright, next I'll be explaining about the compression ignition engine using the Kia Sorento 2.2 liter Smart Stream CRD. So the engine used in this car is a 2.2 liter 4-cylinder engine, a 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. Okay, so how does this engine work? It's simple. Unlike the Mazda, only pure air. Unlike the Mazda, this engine runs on a diesel cycle, and only pure air is drawn into the cylinder during intake stroke. Then the piston compresses the air aggressively, causing the temperature and the pressure to rise up. At peak of the compression, diesel is sprayed directly into the chamber via fuel diesel injection. And since the air is so hot, screeching hot, the fuel ignites itself without. Finally, I'll be explaining about HEV, hybrid electric vehicle, using the example assigned to me, Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. So this hybrid car, the system features a 2-liter Atkinson cycle petrol engine paired with an electric motor generator and a lithium-ion battery. So in simple terms, how does the system work is, this is a series parallel hybrid. So at low speeds and idling, the car straightaway shifts to EV mode, where it just uses the battery, the electric motor draws the energy from the battery pack and the car goes in silently. But once the car starts to pick up pace in full acceleration or highway speeds, the petrol engine immediately boots up the whole power and gives petrol power towards the engine. So alright, next I'll be comparing three key differences between each engine. Okay, firstly, for the spark ignition engine, the car Kia Mazda 2, it uses a spark plug to ignite the engine. Second, for the Kia Sorento, the compression ignition engine, it uses high heat and compression to ignite the fuel itself. And lastly, for the HEV, the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid, it uses a spark plug for the engine, and it uses magnetic field for the electric motor. For next, I'll be comparing about the primary fuel. For the Mazda 2, it uses petrol. For Kia Sorento, it uses diesel. And for the Toyota Cross, it uses petrol and electrical power using the electric motor. Lastly, for the torque power for each engine, for Mazda, it's a moderate torque power with 140 Nm. For the Kia Sorento, it has a massive torque power using 440 Nm. And for the HEV, it uses instant electrical power and with a little bit of petrol powered energy pushing it. I've always wondered, why did this manufacturer chose these specific engines for these cars? For the Mazda 2, it's a simple compact city car which doesn't need to be pulling big loads. So a spark ignition engine is good as it is cost efficient and it's a lightweight car. So this keeps the car cheap to buy and easy to maintain. Next, for the Kia Sorento, the Kia Sorento is a car that is made to pull big loads and carry lots of families and bring along heavy weights. So a diesel compression engine is great as it's naturally high torque. So it can provide the best big amount of power to push the car to its potential and push the car to provide the amount of to bring heavy weights throughout the entire journey. And for the Toyota Corolla Cross HEV, they use a HEV engine to be fuel efficient, and lower emissions. As when the car is idling, it just uses normal electric power and it doesn't use any fuel. So emissions around the air and using fuel goes low. So your monthly fuel cost will be much more lower when you're using an EV. Alright, based on global energy crisis that's going on today, is it actually practical, and are we is it recommended for the spark ignition engine cars, the compressed ignition engine cars to switch to EV? Well, in my opinion, I think it's not really that practical, as it won't immediately solve all the problems for the energy crisis, as you also need to burn coal or anything to provide the electrical energy sometimes. But it is a good effort to do it, as it can reduce emissions throughout our whole air system. It reduces emissions, you can save much more money on fuel, you save costs, and drastically you don't have to rely only on petrol, as petrol is a good fuel but for cars but petrol is also not everlasting. You cannot always get petrol, so it will finish one day. So why always rely on petrol when you can turn to electric as well? Electric is pretty good. So so EV is actually very good. I think a hybrid technology serves as a perfect immediate answer to the global energy crisis, drastically reducing the fuel reliance today without placing immediate stress on national power grids. So in my opinion, it is great for it is wonderful that so the cars that I mentioned before, the Mazda 2, the Kia Sorento, is good to change it to EV. But okay, to conclude, there is no one size fit all car in automotive design. The Mazda 2, Kia Sorento, Corolla Cross, each proves that they has their own features for their own usage. So we cannot expect everyone to use EV, as sometimes EV cannot provide big power, but it is a good effort to take to switch to EV to reduce emissions, save money on fuel, and also to be more fuel efficient and don't rely more on petrol as the main fuel for all the cars. So thank you for listening for the whole video. I hope you enjoyed it, and these are my references right now for the whole video. And